Hi everyone, I'm Paola Miani. I'm a design strategist and a sustainability innovation consultant. I'm the founder of the Sustainability Transformation Community, and I'm here today with Jeroen Spoelstra. He is designing new relationships between people and nature with life-centered design. Hello Jeroen, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for inviting me.
Fantastic. I'm very glad that you're here. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, my name is Jeroen. I'm a Dutch designer living in the Spanish Pyrenees together with my wife Marcela in Costa Rica, and we run Unbeaten Studio, and we focus on life-centered design. Originally, I'm a product designer, and my career kind of went through kind of education, like design education, human-centered design. I worked a lot with NGOs, educational institutions, and government in the Netherlands and also internationally. And since 2018, we live here in Spain, and we became way more focused on nature and on life and using that in our work.
What an amazing decision to make to be, embedded in the middle of the nature in Spain. It must have been like an amazing journey, no? Transforming your
It's,
entire
yeah, it's
life.
been yeah, it's been amazing. Like we literally kind of we came here for love because like Marcel couldn't get a Dutch visa, so we wanted to live somewhere, and then we decided like let's then leave the city, move to nature, and basically we drove our van that I had, full of our stuff from the Netherlands to Spain,
Amazing.
and then we started from scratch.
Awesome. That's
And
what.
now we have two little kids.
So it's totally living remotely from work and worldwide, no? It's amazing.
Yeah. We literally live in a village of like 30 people.
Wow.
So now I mean the office is like in Ainsa, it's 2,000 people. We're just living outside of Ainsa. Yeah, we have 30 people and a few cats and dogs in the village. That's it.
How nice. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And let's start off by talking about sustainability transformation. What does that mean to you and why you're interested about it?
For me, it means like that. Like it's a lot about mindset. I feel there's now like ever since I discovered like human-centered design back in 2009, I wanted to work with sustainability and design. Like for me, starting off as a product designer, it was all about I create new garbage when I design a new product. But the idea of with human-centered design, I was like, oh, maybe I can design less products and more other solutions that help the planet forward. But then there were always human-centered, so you're still designing something for a human, which always takes more resources. And that's also why I came up with life-centered design at some point. Like we should way more focus on putting nature and also non-user staples at the center of our creation. But that means that we have to kind of change our perspective on how we live and how we design our things. And that's kind of, we have to make a transformation from like really we're only thinking of us as humans, on only thinking of our stakeholders, to kind of thinking of like, okay, but like what is the impact on nature? What is the impact on people that don't use our products or services? And be more in tune with those elements of the world. So that's kind of, for me, that's like the transition we have to make kind of from just thinking of us as like very egocentric to make more like we as a whole, life as a whole.
Yeah, no, that's very true. So for me, it's a bit like we started with digital transformation, and companies realized that they needed to put the customer at the center. They're still in that journey, but now there is a much bigger transformation that they need to deal with. That it's about basically making sure that humanity not only will survive but will thrive in the future, and that is a massive shift of mindset, as you were saying, into not only thinking about the impact that you can have in the business and the customer, but also in the society and all life on Earth, basically, and nature and biodiversity, etc. So that's great. Thank you for that. And can you tell us an initiative that you think it could be useful for the community to find out more, something that you have done or that you have been part of that will be interesting for the community?
I'm thinking of a friend of mine, Tom van de Beek, who's a Dutch, he calls himself an ecopreneur, and he has a lot of like different type of projects, and one of that is the pollinators. So what he does is, like, in the Netherlands, he focuses on biodiversity through pollination, basically. And he has basically like a platform where they hand out bags of seeds to kind of like throw out like into in nature, like on the places where no nature is, to kind of create more flowers so that the bees can thrive. But he does it in a very positive way. So he uses sustainability, but it's more, he makes it in a very fun way to be part of like a biodiversity group. They organize festivals of tree planting. They're working on food forest, those kind of things. But what he also is really good at is connecting that with business.
Mm.
So he brings in like businesses that kind of help him achieve those goals. And to me, that's very inspirational. So that could be like, like kind of like an example of how you could, like, in a very positive way, like if you look on LinkedIn, like a lot of the things you see about sustainability is only negative.
Yeah.
It's only about research. It's bad, which is true. But like, if you only talk about how bad it is, and we have to come up with solutions that are more in positive daylight, then it also won't change. And for me, he's an example to kind of like, he brings it in a positive way.
Yeah.
And is able to build community and connect people with it. And people, not only like adults like us, but also kids and like families. And
I like that. I like that idea, because it's about less talking and more doing, right? So
also that.
Yeah, it's showing rather than telling. This is how you make a city more, more in tune with nature. This is how you connect people in cities with nature, and then so important to connect with business value as well, because otherwise, unfortunately, business won't hear unless at least they understand how that aligns to their goals, right? And also being able to use those opportunities to demonstrate that sustainability doesn't need to be just a problem to solve. It could be also an opportunity to create new value. So that's really cool.
And I also think that lifestyle design is a lot about that, like showing that it's not design is solving problems, but it's basically also creating opportunities.
Exactly.
Of growth, of creating more quality in your products or in your organization.
Yes, and something that you mentioned before is how important it is for people to connect with nature and understand nature, to empathize with nature. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so like what we did earlier this year is basically go to a mountain lake here in the Pyrenees and make a persona of that mountain lake, really trying to kind of capture the story of that lake in an emotional way and back it up with like scientific data. And in a very immersive way. So we literally went with like a few students, me including, in silence to this lake and really tried to connect with the environment, not only the lake, but the mountains around it, the trees, the little streams. And then at least what I felt, and also what the students felt, is kind of you come to this different, and you create this different energy in your body, and by connecting this, like by basically standing still. And really feeling the area around you, listening to what you hear, like the nature, maybe your own breathing, and that really makes you connect to that place. And I think that's kind of what we lost a lot in society. when you rush to work in the morning, also here, but also in a city, like you don't know where you're going. You're going into a bus or in a tram or in a train or in your car, and you just you have one thing on your mind: going to work on time in your own cocoon. So there's no connection with like what you have around you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the transformation start with like connecting with your environment, wherever that is, and realizing what that environment is and what it does to you and maybe to the world around you.
That's beautiful, and it's so true. I think that's one of the key problems as well, not being living your daily life day to day and immersed in your work in front of the computer all day, and not remember that we are part of nature, that we are nature, and that everything that happens to nature will eventually affect us, and vice versa. So it's beautiful what you're doing. I hope that I can join one day.
You're more than welcome.
We will definitely share the links of what you do in case someone is interested, and also if you can share the link of the story that you told us about this guy that is doing this initiative in Holland. I think that would be great as well.
I will.
And just last question, how do you think this community can help you?
I think this community can help me by kind of like reflecting on lifestyle design, giving me feedback. Maybe we could do like a community workshop together where we just play with some tools and then spread the word. Spread the word about lifestyle design, spread the word about like how important this is to kind of create this sustainable transformation.
Yeah.
I think that would be great.
That sounds amazing. And anything that you would like to offer as well to the community? What do you think you can help them with?
I think as a designer, I can help make things happen. So part of the design is kind of connecting these people, like the thinking with the doing. Like you can create beautiful, sustainable visions, but what can you do tomorrow? How does that translate into action? I think that's like what I can offer is kind of like making that transformation from like the vision into the actual doing. How can you do and that doing can be on several levels, of course, but like I think that's what I can offer to kind of the community, like showing examples of how you do that, or like showing in a workshop, like I have people experience it.
Amazing. That's really great. Thank you very much for your time, Jeroen. It was lovely to catch up with you, and looking forward to continue the conversation in the community.
Great, likewise, and thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. Cheers.